Join us on the journey this week as we hit a few of our favorite spots in South Dakota. We check out a local suggestion that no one seems to know about. Cody shares a tip that he does every time that we leave the camper. We take care of a little personal business, and then we go on a little bit of a rant about the mail. Lesson learned. We've ruined it for the others.
Welcome back. We are still here in South Dakota this week, and we have a lot of stuff going on, a lot of personal business to handle later in the week, and we're going to spend it capitalizing in Custer State Park.
One of our favorites. Sounds like my squeaky toy. I think it'd be funny to just let her loose. We'd never get her back.
We could never do it.
No.
I mean,
She'd probably catch one. She's quick.
That'd be cruel to her and to the prairie dogs. But, yeah, I've had that thought too. Like, I just wonder, how close could she get?
We'd never get her back.
No, I think she'd be gone.
What was it that you read about the dogs smelling?
Oh, it was just saying if you take your dogs for a walk, take time to let them stop and sniff at things, because that's like their whole world. It ignites their senses, exercises their brain. I think that is a wild donkey. But it exercises their brain and gets them mentally engaged. But the little article I read basically said that while you may smell food in the kitchen, your dog smells every ingredient. And I wonder if she smells this donkey.
She is not aware of it yet.
That's hilarious. Donkeys. Quiet.
We like to hit these wildlife loops kind of early in the morning or in the evening. We just kind of feel like our chances may be a little better when it's not the heat of the day. We still haven't seen a whole lot of wildlife outside of the buffalo that you always see, the
pronghorns. You see quite a few pronghorns.
Pronghorns, the prairie dogs, and then obviously the donkeys.
And I don't remember seeing donkeys the last time we were here.
They were here, but they were behind a little gate fence. So I don't know if it's changed since we came, or
I don't know. I felt like I won when I saw the prairie dogs, because I could sit there and watch those things all day long.
They are funny. As a landowner, you have to hate them. but they are funny. It's the wrong window, Charlie. We came back to put a little bit of food in our stomachs, drop the dogs off so they can rest after all that excitement.
Exhausted.
And we're going to go explore the Badlands once again, one of Cody's favorites.
No, Cody's favorite. We're outside of the Badlands National Park. This is the third time we've been here, and every time it just takes your breath away. It's literally wow around every corner. The Badlands, Custer, Rapid City, South Dakota area is my favorite place to be, and it did not disappoint today.
We did get a suggestion from a local, a cashier, told us a little secret gem within the Badlands. It's in a different section of the Badlands that we've never seen before. It's his little secret when people come in to visit and they don't want to do the heavy tourist area. They go to Red Shirt Table, which is way south on the map. But he says that he has his friends do Needles Highway, Custer, and then Red Shirt Table, and they get their fill in a really quick matter. So I don't know personally, but we're going to try to hop over there at some point this week, maybe after work. And as usual, we'll pop it down in the comments and description.
If you haven't been out here, whether you do it in a car or fly out here or however you want to do it, you have to come see the Badlands. It's a national treasure. There's no other way to look at it. It's just the best. It's really great. It's got something for everybody. If you want to hike, there's tons of free range hiking. People are out here biking. If you don't want to do any of that stuff, you can drive the whole thing and just be in amazement stopping at the little overlooks that are placed all over. We took a lot of pictures today. We're going to share those on our Facebook page. So if you're not friends with us on Facebook, go follow us there so you can check out some of these awesome shots we took.
First order of business, we failed to register to vote when we moved all of our stuff to South Dakota. Not only do we need to do that, we also need to file for absentee voting.
Since we won't be here when election time comes, most likely.
Do we have to be here for all of this? No. But I don't want to rely on the U.S. Postal Service because that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Not to assume that no one else knows how this works, but just in case, because we didn't. The voting and the absentee voting, they do a lot of that here at the auditor's office.
So I'll start by saying everything that we've done in South Dakota, moving our plates over, getting our residency set up, and all that stuff has been super easy. This state is the easiest state to get stuff done in of anywhere I've ever lived.
Surprisingly easy.
Yeah, we're registered to vote in South Dakota now.
Woohoo!
We're getting our absentee ballots mailed to us. Nice and easy, no big deal. Just fill out a couple of forms and get a copy of your ID and you're in. We're going to be able to make our voices heard in South Dakota at the election, and hopefully you guys will all do the same in your home states.
The only bad thing is we have to rely on the U.S. mail to get it to them.
I want to vote for a new U.S. Postal Service.
So we may have went on a rant a couple weeks ago. We had some mail issues. We had 2 little problems with the mail that aren't real little. And after 2 years of being on the road and being very careful for this not to happen, we've hit a little frustrating road bump. And it all centers around the U.S. Postal Service.
Yeah.
There's a reason why we waited till now to mention it, because we're in our feels about it.
For those of you who haven't been around for a while, we use the Escapees mail forwarding service for all of our normal mail that would hit a mailbox. It goes down to Texas, they sort it. They've got a great phone app where you can have your envelopes scanned and look at them on your phone. You can have them destroyed, you can have them forwarded, and that works great. But when we receive packages, we try to have them sent directly to the campground that we're at, so that we don't have to pay for shipping twice, because whatever Escapees sends us comes at a cost, and you probably paid for shipping in some way, shape, or form. So we ordered 2 different items from 2 different websites for a total of about $150, and we had them shipped way in advance. These 2 websites didn't have an option to pick FedEx or UPS. So Angela has a package in Wisconsin we can't get our hands on, and I have a package that I ordered last week and paid for 2-day USPS shipping that was supposed to have been here Monday or Tuesday. Now they're saying it's going to be Monday or Tuesday of next week. When I have packages or items sent to me from our Escapees forwarding, I always tell them, under no circumstances use USPS, because it never gets where it's supposed to be. And Escapees is great. I can get on the app, dial in where I want my stuff to go, choose my shipping method, and then I'll usually put a note in there like, I'm leaving on this day. If you need to speed it up to get it there faster or slow it down to save us some money, I trust you guys, and they're really good about reaching out and giving me alternatives to usually save me a little bit of money.
I don't like putting the campgrounds in the middle of it. We got other packages just fine, but for some reason this one was just, whoever had their hands on it, it was an issue. So we called the local post office where it originated. This is 3 days later than we expected it. Just whatever you do, don't deliver it. Hold it or send it back. And they're like, okay, yeah, we can do that. She's like, well, I don't know where it's at, to be honest. And then they delivered it.
And the lady I talked to the other day was so rude, and I mean, basically told me I was an idiot for having the package sent.
That delivered a week late?
That hasn't delivered yet. And I said, I paid for 2 days shipping. It shipped last week. it's been 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 6 days, and it was, well, sometimes it can take a day or two longer than normal. This is a week. She was no help. Spend the extra money and go with FedEx would be my first choice. UPS is my second, and that's what we're going to do today, and hopefully we can get the stuff we've already paid for.
These reasons are the reason that campgrounds don't allow packages to be delivered, or some of them will specifically say no USPS. The one in Wisconsin did give us permission, but when I talked to her with this issue, she said, yeah, this is kind of why we have an issue with it. You're headed into the UPS store to get a pre-labeled box to leave at this campground and beg them to help us and ask for forgiveness. We've ruined it for the others. You're empty-handed.
No dice. She said about all that can be done is to have the campground bring it in, the physical item, and they will call me, take a credit card over the phone, and do it that way. Well, if you're out there and you work for the USPS, I know this is not your individual fault, but
your company sucks.
but the organization clearly has some problems. Could have knitted my own shirt the time it took them to get it here. I'm sure you all want to see that.
I kind of do. So we chose to donate those items.
Yeah.
We tried to work with the companies to get return sheets.
You end up just getting chat bots that reaffirm what you already know, that your package is running
Or
late.
things that don't make sense at all. Anything that you requested.
It just didn't make sense. It wasn't going to save us that much money when it was all said and done, so we just reordered our stuff.
Lesson learned. And then
We have nothing else planned for the evening. Does that mean more hot tub time, or does that mean set out by the fire pit time?
I like both of your ideas. We decided to visit the Needles Highway, which we loved before, or we're going to do it again.
It's just such a cool drive.
We forgot how stunning it was.
And we brought the dogs along today.
Hold on, wait for the morning, till the sun comes over the hills. Make your call loud and clear. I will listen patiently. How are you to know? How are you to know? It's all the things you
So when you get here to run the Needles Highway, it leads you into Custer State Park. You got to get a pass. It's $20 for 7 days, so not too bad.
And although Needles Highway is amazing, and Sylvan Lake that's off of Needles Highway, we almost overlooked. We were like, oh, it's just a lake. It's worth a stop.
It is worth a stop.
Speaking of Sylvan Lake,
Here we are, right inside of the park entrance. And one of the coolest things to see on this drive is Sylvan Lake. It's beautiful. Now, the last time we were here, we ignored those rumbles of thunder for a little too long. And we got absolutely soaked, and that may happen again today. It's our key to find.
It's all the things you do, and all the things I don't. Close your eyes.
She's shaking. She smells something.
Take your time. I'll be
This is no time for a train horn.
How was I
Somebody got sleepy on the drive. He's tuckered out, Mom. is used up. He's had all the fun he can have for one day.
It was always true. If only I knew. Don't let me fall.
This campground has been nice,
They're mowing again.
but there are a lot of rabbits
Tons of them.
everywhere.
Is waiting for us.
Eris would give it a 5-star rating for that reason, because she's having a ball trying to chase all these rabbits. However, it makes doing business a little difficult.
Just a little bit.
We have some storms rolling in. We're gonna go do a little exploring and try to catch a break in between before it hits us.
But before we go, something really important I wanted to take a second to remind everybody of. If you're gonna be away from your camper for a little while, I always shut the water off. If I'm running off the pump, I always shut the pump off. I put a real quick, just a valve on the back side of my water softener so I can just turn it off on the back of the camper. I don't have to walk all the way to the spigot or anything like that. That way, if you get a leak, you don't have to worry about any kind of crazy damage. Another thing I like to do when I shut the water off, since I have a water pressure regulator, I look at where my pressure is when I shut it off. When I get back, if the pressure hasn't dropped, that tells you don't have any leaks anywhere. It's kind of like doing a quick bleed down test to check for problems. We do have the water sensors, but if I'm an hour away, I can't get back quick enough to shut them off before we have damage. So just a reminder, shut your water off, pull your awnings in if you're going to be away from your rig for a bit.
We got our voter registration done. We got our absentee voting done. Cody had a couple things personal he had to do. I had a couple other things. And then one other thing that we need to do before we leave here is get our passports. We do eventually want to cross the border, take those awesome Mexico, Canadian trips, but we got to get this passport thing figured out first. Here in Rapid City, they do it at the post office. They had the forms readily available. We were supposed to go in with a check, get our photo. They actually do the photos there. So hopefully we have everything in line to get that done successfully and finish up this week of business. I recognize that we're probably pessimists because we just go into these government offices expecting for it to be complicated and them to give us a hard time. But so maybe it's just our attitudes, but it just seems once again everything here is so easy.
People are nice.
Was it 10 minutes? We got our passport applications.
No, back up. It took us about 5 minutes to get our passport applications.
It took us about 20 minutes to chat
And
with the ladies. So friendly, so nice. We actually learned a lot about South Dakota.
When do you go to get something like a passport or your car tags and just nearly end up making friends? People in South Dakota are just super friendly. I don't think I've met a hateful person out here.
We like it here.
I mean, they're nice. I mean, their people are great in the South, but this is a whole different level.
We learned about evolving rattlesnakes. We learned about planting seasons. We learned about a lot of things.
How many cattle? I thought this was interesting for those of you
Yeah.
out there who have followed some of our videos down on our friend's farm and stuff like that. So she had some family from eastern Oklahoma, and she was saying that down there, you know, it's, what'd she say, 2.5 cows per acre or something like that. And up here, it's 1 cow per 15 acres. Because the grass is so sparse, and the grass really only grows about 3 months out of the year. So it's they need these great big ranches to farm what we can farm on small ranches back home, which we've seen them out here, but that makes sense.
Makes total sense.
All because we came to get our passport. We learned a little something.
So we're gonna go check out this red shirt table overlook that the local suggested as the secret place that nobody knows about. So all the tourism isn't there. It's not busy.
But in fairness, Google knows about it, so I'm not sure how much of a secret hidden gem it is.
It's not frequented.
Yeah.
How about that?
That makes sense. I'm glad you corrected yourself there. Wow, it's windy. I've lost my hat a few times lately, but if I lose it out here, I'm probably stuck. Wow. That's what we're running from.
So it's basically this massive panorama of a little taste of what you might get in the Badlands. And can you imagine people having to navigate this terrain
Oh,
to survive?
I don't know how a bighorn sheep navigates this terrain,
That's true.
much less a human being. I mean, we both almost twisted our ankles a dozen times the other day out walking around in it.
I think the sheep defy gravity.
All right, guys, that's it for this one. Thanks for hanging out with us for another awesome adventure in South Dakota. If you guys haven't, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for us so you don't miss the next video. We're about to jump in the truck and try to outrace these storms on the way back to the house.
Play chicken.
Play chicken with the storms. That's what we do.
See you later.
Bye, guys. If you want to run the needles, I guess I better put my mic on, shouldn't I?
Come on.
Go.
Get back down. Oh my, we're playing chicken with this car.
This is take 3, 37. Every time we get ready to go, there's a car that wants to come in at the same time. So I back up, and then I guess they back up. This has been going on for a while, so Angela finally just hopped out and waved them on. Remember to not be afraid.
I think that ruined our chances of seeing wildlife. That's a turkey.
It's a wild turkey. So I guess my train horde didn't scare off all the wildlife. Oh, ain't she pretty?
There has to be more, right? We come in peace. We come in peace. These geese don't have any babies. I don't think they're too worried about us until they attack.
You're so worried about the geese attacking you.
They're mean little buggers.
What are they gonna do, peck you?
I don't know. I don't want to experience whatever it is.
Badlands, we love you. And if you guys... Badlands, we love you. Don't use the United States Postal Service, because the old thing about through sleet and rain and wind of night, or whatever they used to say, the whole thing they used to say about through wind and rain and sleet and hell, we're going to get your mail there, or whatever the old slogan was.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to look it up. Hold. What was it?
All right.
Okay, here
Enlighten us.
here it is.
Okay.
This is the United States Postal Service Creed from Wikipedia.
Oh, well, if it's from Wikipedia.
Well, neither snow nor rain, nor heat nor gloom of night stays these couriers from swift completion of their appointed rounds, is the phrase long associated with the United States Postal Service.
There's a reason they don't put that on their building.
There's a reason it ain't on the box, kids.